Hey, welcome to the channel. Today, I'll be recapping a cool thriller movie called Sweet Virginia. It came out in 2017 and falls into the neo-noir genre. The story takes place in a small town in Alaska, and it's full of twists and turns, with deceit, murder, and revenge as its main themes. The movie begins with some breathtaking views of Alaska, but as the story progresses, darkness falls and the scene shifts to three friends having a great time partying together. Their names are Lau, Tom, and Michael. They're all hanging out in Lau's bar, which is closed at the moment because it's late at night. Suddenly, an unexpected visitor enters the bar and takes a seat. Michael politely informs him that the bar is closed and suggests he come back tomorrow for service. However, this mysterious man becomes angry and starts threatening them before storming out. Despite the unsettling encounter, the friends decide to continue their party. But then, to their horror, the mysterious man returns and begins shooting everyone without mercy. It's a terrifying scene, and he even takes all the money from the cash counter before making his escape. Now, the focus shifts to a man named Sam. He used to be a bull rider and was actually dreaming about it when he suddenly wakes up. He gets ready for the day and heads to the hotel he manages, which coincidentally shares the name of the movie, Sweet Virginia. As Sam goes about his duties, we discover that he has a noticeable limp when he walks. This happened because of a serious injury he sustained during his bull riding days. While working at the hotel, he reads the newspaper and comes across a news article about the murders that took place the previous night. Later, Sam's hotel manager informs him that there have been complaints from the tenants against room 128, as they're disturbed by something happening there. Concerned, Sam decides to knock on the door and kindly asks the man inside to calm down. Unfortunately, the man rudely slams the door in Sam's face, leaving him puzzled and concerned about what's going on inside room 128. Hey, guys! Before we dive further into the story, I just want to ask you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now, let's get back to where we left off. We now shift our attention to Bernie, Tom's wife, who is surrounded by friends and family members after her husband's tragic death. Leela, Michael's wife, also joins them. It's surprising to see them having a casual conversation despite both of their husbands being killed. Bernie has some important documents and cash stored in a safe, which Leela notices. Meanwhile, Sam arrives at Bernie's house in condolence, but soon we discover that Bernie and Sam were actually having an affair. We also learn that Sam's right hand is injured, making it difficult for him to lift it properly. Soon after, the scene changes to an isolated location where Leela arrives, only to find the same killer who murdered their three friends at the beginning of the movie. His name is Elwood. Leela confronts him, asking why he killed the others when their agreement was solely focused on her husband, Michael. In a fit of anger, Elwood blames Leela for the mishap, stating that she had assured him only Michael would be present that night, but his friends were there too, forcing him to eliminate them. In truth, it was Leela who planned the murder of her husband, Michael, suspecting him of being involved in an extramarital affair. Elwood demands his payment from Leela, who promises to give it to him within a week, once she receives the life insurance money from Michael. Elwood threatens her, warning that he won't spare her if she fails to pay up. Leela hands over her phone number to contact her after a week. They part ways, each going their separate direction. In the next scene, Bernie visits Sam at his house, and their relationship takes an intimate turn. They also discuss the fate of Tom, questioning whether he ended up in heaven or hell. The following day, Elwood meets Sam at his hotel, only to reveal that he had been staying in room 125 of the same hotel. Elwood notices Sam's bull riding number and recognizes him as the once famous and champion bull rider. However, Sam opens up about his past, revealing that people forgot about him after his bull riding accident, and he now finds himself in the hotel business. Now let's switch scenes and focus on Leela. She is having a discussion with her lawyer about insurance money. In that moment, her lawyer informs her that her husband was penniless and not had any insurance, and their house is even mortgaged. This news shocks Leela, and she realizes that she's in a difficult situation and trapped in her own planned crime. On the same night, Elwood meets Sam again and invites him to grab a meal together. Sam initially declines, but Elwood insists and convinces him to join. They talk about their experiences with bull riding. Elwood asks Sam if he has a girlfriend, and Sam reluctantly affirms. Just then, Leela enters to get some coffee, and Sam calls her over because he already knew her. He introduces her to Elwood, and they both act as if they are strangers. Leela's situation worsens when she realizes that Elwood already staying in the Sam's hotel. Later, as Leela is driving back home, a car suddenly appears behind her. She becomes suspicious and recognizes Elwood. The car follows her closely, tailing her wherever she goes. Eventually, she is forced to stop near a railway crossing. However, as soon as the barriers open, she quickly drives away, leaving Elwood behind. The scene changes to a beautiful morning view of the town, and then we see Elwood at a local phone booth, trying to call Leela and demand his money. However, Leela doesn't answer the phone, which infuriates Elwood. In his anger, he violently attacks two individuals nearby who were simply having a casual conversation. On the same night, Leela plans to escape to her mother's house since she doesn't have any money and her life is in danger. But just then, Elwood arrives and assaults her, holding a gun and demanding to know where his money is. Trembling, Leela reveals that she knows a place where the money can be found, indicating Bernie's locker, which she had seen earlier and knew it contained cash. Elwood lets her go. The next day begins with a beautiful scene, and Elwood meets a boy named Paul, who used to be involved in minor crimes. They meet again under a bridge and devise a plan to burglarize Bernie's house. As the evening transitions into night, Sam goes to Bernie's house, and they enjoy some romantic moments together. Later that night, Sam mentions that he has been away from the hotel for a while and needs to return. Just as he leaves, Elwood and Paul are spotted approaching Bernie's house to carry out the robbery. Meanwhile, when Sam arrives at the hotel, he receives another complaint about room 128, where frequent arguments disrupt the peace for neighboring tenants. Sam goes there to address the situation and tries to talk to the person involved, but it escalates into a physical altercation. Unfortunately, Sam is unable to defend himself effectively, and he gets severely beaten. Despite being a former champion bull rider, he loses the fight to an ordinary person. The scene shifts to Bernie's house, where she's in the bathtub and suddenly hears a noise. She investigates and discovers burglars in her home. To protect herself, she quickly rushes upstairs and locks herself in the bedroom. Meanwhile, downstairs, Elwood reaches the safe and attempts to force it open. When his attempts fail, he resorts to firing a shot to break it open, while Paul tries to break down the bedroom door. As the door opens, Bernie defends herself by stabbing Paul with a knife, causing his body to fall down the stairs in front of Elwood. At this point, Elwood has already taken all the money from the safe and is about to harm Bernie. However, he notices Sam's cap, which was left behind. Elwood realizes that she is Sam's girlfriend and decides to spare her. He takes the money and leaves. Now, Sam, who remains oblivious to the events, tries to call Bernie, but she doesn't answer the phone. Worried, he rushes to her house and is shocked to find the police present. Bernie embraces him, and she starts crying. The story takes us back to the hotel room where Elwood, too, got hurt while fighting with Bernie. He takes care of his wounds, but finds it hard to walk. The next morning, Elwood quietly packs his things, planning to leave the hotel. However, just as he's struggling to go, Sam sees him and comes over. Sam notices the blood and realizes Elwood must have been involved in the robbery. In a small town, it's easy to figure out who was hurt in a crime. Elwood tries to get his gun and attack Sam, but Sam escapes, and in the confusion, someone else gets killed. Sam locks himself in a room, and somehow Elwood manages to reach that room. But when Elwood goes in, he sees that Sam is nowhere to be found. Sam had escaped through the bathroom window, and Elwood continues his escape. Suddenly, Sam returns with a rifle and tells Elwood to stay put until the police arrive. However, Elwood explains that he spared Sam's girlfriend, so he's leaving. Sam warns him 3 times not to go, but Elwood doesn't listen. So, Sam fires a shot, and Elwood writhes in pain. Then, police sirens start blaring in the background, indicating that Sam had already called the police. Elwood dies, and the police search his room, find a clue with Leela's name and phone number. The police find enough evidence against Leela and arrest her. The movie shows the beautiful town once again, reminding us that even in a lovely place, crimes may happen. In the final scene of the movie, Bernie is shown trimming Sam's hair, and Sam remembers when he used to be a champion bull rider and had an accident. He smiles. It was a dark movie, so it ends with sad music playing. I hope you enjoyed the explanation, my friends. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more interesting content.